The night he walked away, he took everything that could be carried and left behind everything that mattered. The house lights went dark, the door never opened again, and silence fell so heavy it felt louder than shouting. By morning, all that remained were 2 children, a mother with empty hands, and a future that suddenly had no shape at all. By winter, with nowhere left to go and no one left to call, they stood beneath a giant tree and realized it was the only thing still willing to shelter them. If you believe in the silent hero, in second chances, and in people who endure without applause, pause here for a moment to like this video, comment, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this survive because people choose to pass them on. The woman's name was Grace Miller, and until the day her husband left, she had believed struggle was something that happened to other people. They had not been rich, but they had been steady. A small home in a quiet part of the United States, 2 children who laughed easily, and routines that felt permanent. When he began changing, growing distant and restless, Grace told herself it was stress, work, exhaustion. She never imagined he would disappear completely, draining the account, selling what he could, and leaving her with debts that arrived faster than explanations. The eviction notice came quietly, like an apology written by someone who did not care. Grace packed what she could fit into 2 old backpacks. Her son Noah tried to be brave, asking questions about camping and adventure, while her daughter Lily clutched a broken toy and watched the walls like they might remember her. Grace locked the door for the last time with shaking hands, knowing there was nowhere else to go. They stayed with friends until the favors ran thin. Shelters were full. Phones stopped ringing back. Each night, Grace told her children stories of strong people who survived storms, of places where help always came in the end. She told them these stories because she needed to believe them herself. At the edge of town stood an enormous oak tree, older than the roads, older than memory. Its roots rose from the ground like frozen waves, forming natural hollows beneath the trunk. Grace had passed her whole life without ever seeing it as anything but scenery. That changed on a cold evening when rain soaked through their jackets and the children began to shiver. The space beneath the tree was dry. The roots curved inward, blocking the wind. Leaves formed a thick, natural blanket above. Grace sat there with her children pressed close, listening to the rain hit bark instead of skin, and felt something she had not felt in weeks. Relief. What began as one night became many. Grace learned how to arrange leaves and branches for insulation. She scavenged cardboard and cloth. She kept the children warm with movement, stories, and hope. The giant tree became their address, their shield, their secret. Noah started calling it their fort. Lily slept better there than she had anywhere else since losing her bed. Grace watched the tree every morning, running her hands over bark as if thanking it for another night. The hardest part was not hunger or cold. It was invisibility. People walked past without looking. Cars slowed and sped up. Grace learned to keep her eyes down, to make herself small. Pride became a luxury she could not afford. Still, something began to change. One afternoon, a man walking his dog stopped. He did not ask questions or make promises. He simply left a bag of food near the tree and nodded once before leaving. Another day, a woman returned with blankets and a thermos of soup. Word spread quietly, not through announcements, but through kindness. Grace never begged. She accepted help with gratitude and gave what she could in return, cleaning nearby spaces, helping others who had less. The children learned generosity before comfort. They learned resilience before safety. Winter deepened. Snow collected on the branches above them, creating a natural roof that trapped warmth. Grace noticed how the temperature beneath the tree stayed calmer than the open air. She realized the tree was not just shelter. It was protection designed by time itself. One night, during the worst storm of the season, a loud crack echoed through the dark. A heavy branch fell nearby, missing them by feet. Grace held her children tightly, heart pounding, realizing how close danger always was. In that moment, fear nearly crushed her hope. But morning came. The tree still stood. The children still breathed steadily. And something inside Grace hardened, not with bitterness, but with determination. She began writing, not letters asking for help, but pages describing survival, the way the tree protected them, the quiet strength of roots and bark. She posted her words online when she could, using borrowed phones, library computers. She wrote because it reminded her she still had a voice. Her words reached farther than she ever imagined. People responded, not with pity, but with respect. A local teacher shared the story. A small community group reached out. Slowly, quietly, help became organized. One cold morning, a social worker arrived, not with threats or judgment, but with options. Temporary housing, resources, time. Grace looked at the tree before leaving, pressing her palm against it one last time. She promised she would never forget what it had given them when no one else could. They moved into a small apartment weeks later. It was nothing like their old home, but it was warm. It was safe. Noah slept through the night without waking. Lily laughed again. Grace found work helping others who had fallen through the cracks. She spoke openly about losing everything and surviving anyway. The shame she once carried turned into strength. Years later, the giant oak still stood. Children played around it. A small plaque was placed nearby, not with names, but with words about shelter, resilience, and quiet heroes. Few people knew the full story. Grace preferred it that way. Just before the ending, take a moment to comment below and share what the story made you feel. Your words may remind someone that even when everything is taken, something strong can still be found. He left them with nothing, believing emptiness would break them. Instead, they found a home in the roots of something older, stronger, and patient enough to hold them until they could stand again. And long after they walked away, the giant tree remained, proof that even when people fail us, shelter can still grow where we least expect it.